There comes a point in your life when you realize that some people just don't get paid enough to care. For example, when I was a lot younger, maybe like 6 years old, there was this infomercial on TV about this new toy. It was some slimy, goopy, sticky, bubbly something that came in a plastic jar. And it looked so awesome at that age that I had to get it. So one day I was at Target with my mom, and I convinced her to get it. We got it. We brought it home. A couple weeks later, we realized it wasn't really everything the infomercial said it was. All too familiar story. So what's the only logical thing to do? Well, it's to return it. Even though it had already been kind of grossified by my 6-year-old child hands. But regardless, we went about the process of returning it, which involved finding the package it came in, which I didn't do that. I couldn't find it. I'd thrown it away. Trash already came. I don't know. It was gone. So I found a package for another toy, just kind of shoved it in there, taped it shut, hope for the best. My mom found a receipt that was neither for the toy that we bought or the toy that the package came from. And then we went to Walmart to return it because neither of us could remember where we got the toy from. Now that I'm a little older, I can kind of deduce that it was probably Target that we got it from. But either way, we knew we didn't get it from Walmart. We just thought, hey, they'll probably take it anyways. And they did, because Walmart employees just don't get paid enough to care. They saw a toy, they saw a barcode, they said, fine, here's some money back, go about your merry day. And I imagine that they still restocked that toy like it was actually something worthwhile, put it back at the same price it was originally sold at, and bada bing, bada boom, some kid ended up with that, and I think about that kid every day, even though I don't know who in the heck it is. And what does this have to do with today's video? Absolutely nothing, except for I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about Amazon's Renewed program. Have you ever wondered what happens after you return your Amazon packages? Me either. All I know is I ship them back to the void and somehow I get my money back. But apparently something does happen to those packages. Amazon has this program, it's been going on for a while now, called Amazon Renewed. And essentially what that means is, by and large, when you send your packages back, with minor defects, or say if, you bought a new blender and you accidentally bought the 6-bladed blender when you only wanted the 4-bladed blender, or maybe the blender had a chip in the paint and you just didn't like it anymore. You send it back, Amazon takes it, they say, okay, we'll fix any minor imperfections. They really ship that out to smaller companies who'll do it for them. But anyways, somebody will renew it, and then it will be sold again at a marked down price. In this video, my example is my Corsair IRONCLAW gaming mouse. Yes, IRONCLAW is the right word. To be honest, I really don't care what the name of the mouse is, and when you're using it, you don't really care what the name of it is either. You only care about it for the 5 minutes it takes you to buy it, right? So this is kind of my problem with a lot of gaming tech, right? You're going to go out, you're going to buy something, and then the real point of it is to never think about it again until you need to replace it. And this whole gaming, quote-unquote, atmosphere that's been created over the last decade and a half or so is, once you put the word gaming on the box and once you put some bright flashing RGB LEDs in it, it's going to be, you're going to mark it up 100% and everybody's going to love it. Well, hey, as you guys can tell, I've kind of fallen into that same stereotype. But I don't like to pay quite as much for it, so what do I do other than go on Amazon and look at Renewed? So a couple years ago when I needed to buy a new mouse, went on Renewed, I found what would have been a $60 mouse, which is a lot of money for something, that probably costs a buck or two in raw materials, between the LEDs, the plastic, the switches, the sensors, everything, a couple bucks maybe. And labor's like 15 cents. You get some Malaysian kids in a warehouse and whoop-de-doo, there you go, you got a 1,000 mice. Mice, dice, just like, just like how we call singular dice, we call that a douse, exactly. Anyways, this mouse it's pretty decent. I mean, especially for $40, even for 60 bucks, it'd still be a really nice mouse, right? It's a nice, large size, ergonomic, comfortable. The only thing I really have a problem with the build quality are these grips on the side. They're kind of a crosshatch grid pattern, and they get crap stuck in them so easy. I mean, like, you look at the mouse after a week of using it, and all of your Dorito dust is stuck in there. And you know, when you like to drink a lot of Mountain Dew and eat a lot of Doritos when you're playing video games, it's not really that helpful. You know, the Mountain Dew, the sticky syrup gets stuck on your fingers, and then you pick up all the Dorito dust, get it stuck on your mouse. It's hard to clean. It's just, come on, you know, replace it with something a little easier to clean, Corsair. What's the problem? You know, and beyond that, they've got this IQ software. If you have a Corsair anything, you're probably familiar with the IQ software. And all I know about it is it's way more complicated than it needs to be, just for a freaking mouse. So the last mouse I had was plug and play, had 3 DPI settings. You just toggled through them, and that was it. This mouse, pretty much the same thing. Forward, backward buttons, DPI toggle setting. You can't go up and down. You have to toggle through them low to high, right? And you can change the LED colors, and you can change how they flash, and we'll get a little more into that later. But these DPI settings, anyways, they are not hard baked in, so when you first log into your computer, sometimes it takes a second for the mouse to remember what in the hell it's supposed to be doing. So, for example, more recently, mouse was working just fine until a more recent update of the IQ software, and now the sniper setting doesn't work. That's right, there's a sniper setting on this mouse, because who doesn't need a sniper setting? Anyways, what was supposed to happen is you could toggle through it and get down to a sniper setting. Well, you know, that stopped working. And the other thing that stopped working is the profile select. So if you toggle the top button, so the bottom button, by default, it's the DPI toggle switch. On top, it's supposed to be a profile toggle switch, and that stopped working on a recent update of IQ. A lot of my problems with Corsair products don't really come from their products themselves. They're generally pretty well made. I mean, they're not great, but they're well made enough. It's just software. I mean, come on, man. Like, just trying to use my mouse, and I can't do half the stuff it's supposed to do. Without the IQ software, this is no better than the $30 Walmart mouse I bought years and years ago. If the video is still up, I'll put a link to it up here. But anyways, regardless, $40 for a pretty good mouse. The only way you can get that kind of deal is either by trudging through forums and finding something that may or may not work, or going on a refurbishment program. I'm not exactly promoting Amazon Renewed. Amazon's not my favorite. I've had so many bad experiences with Amazon as far as, you know, just products not being what I wanted them to be, or what I expected them to be, sorry. And, you know, just being ripped off in a lot of cases. Thank God for their, you know, very, very easy and intuitive returns process. But, you know, regardless, get a mouse that's refurbished. Get all of your tech refurbished. This monitor right here would have been over $200. I got it for $120 because it was refurbished. Somebody had just, you know, gone through and probably polished off the LCD screen and replaced a couple of bells and whistles, and, you know, it was almost half off. I mean, come on. There's so much good tech out there. We kind of plateaued years ago as far as gaming peripherals. You know, sure, you can still get bigger, better, newer monitors and newer, bigger, better keyboards, but, you know, if you're getting a mechanical keyboard because you, for some reason, like to pay more money for something that sounds a lot worse and will annoy everybody, go for it. But, you know, those Cherry MX switches have been around for years and haven't changed much, so buying the brand new model of a keyboard that's been out for years is almost just ill-advised compared to buying one that somebody bought years ago, they didn't like it anymore, and it got refurbished. So, moral of the story, all right? I'm not promoting anything in this video. I'm just rambling to the screen. And I know that sometimes you guys like that, and sometimes you guys really don't. We'll see how this video goes. But I'm not promoting anything in this video. All I'm saying is, this is a pretty good mouse. buy it if you want. If you don't, I don't care. I'm not married to it. And I'm not saying Amazon Renewed is the only way to buy refurbished tech, but it's a pretty good way of doing it. It's how I got this monitor. It's how I got my mouse. If you guys want to check any of this out, go for it. I will say, there are some things you need to be mindful of when buying refurbished tech, right? Like, a lot of the times, these are underpaid technicians who are refurbishing them. They don't really care. Just like how I talked about in the intro. If you're not paid enough, you don't really care. They're going to make sure that it still clicks. They're going to make sure you can still toggle through the DPI. That's about it. They're not going to check to see if your LED settings are going to work. So, for example, I can do like 2 different LED settings on this. If I set it to the Corsair yellow, it's not really the Corsair yellow. It's kind of like a banana yellow beige kind of thing. It's not really right. I can set it to full red and I can set it to rainbow, and that's about it. All the other settings kind of look like garbage, if you will. And that could be something to do with the IQ software, and I highly suspect it is. But also, it could just be something to do with, the refurbishment process. Maybe that's why it was returned in the first place, because the LEDs didn't look quite as good. But hey, when the LEDs are covered by the palm of your hand 98% of the time, I'll take $20 off for that, right? So anyways, sorry for rambling, but I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Logan with Toxicity. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys later.